So I can see we've got a in-studio guest here this afternoon, Jade Jackson. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right. And also on guitar here, Julian Ness. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I didn't.
Thanks for having us.
There we go. That's better. There we got the microphone up. So,
All right.
Jade, you're playing over at Sam's Burger Joint tonight.
Yep.
I saw some video. I think you were there before, right?
No, we weren't there before. This is actually our first headlining tour ever, and our first time at this venue.
Oh, so you haven't been down here to San Antonio before?
We have, but we were opening.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
it's
this is our first time getting thrown out there on our own.
Oh, very, very
Yeah.
good. And I guess California, is that still home for you, or?
Yep, Central Coast of California.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about that, right? It's Santa Margarita.
That's right. Yep.
Population 1,259.
Oh, really? Well, man, I thought it was 1,100. So everyone's having babies.
Things are going on over there.
Apparently.
It was a pretty cool looking little. I mean, it's like it almost looks like a studio prop to some degree, right? Like
oh, for sure. Yeah, I hated it when I was a kid because there was absolutely nothing to do. I love it now. Now it's my peaceful place, but I have to credit it for becoming a songwriter and a musician because I was so bored that's why I started strumming my guitar and writing.
Interesting. You've been writing songs, I think, since you were a teenager.
13, yeah.
13 years old,
one,
right?
Yeah.
And so you're touring behind, you put out Gilded, I think 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
Yep.
you're going to play something from it, I guess, here in just a couple of minutes. You guys got a tune from that right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to play Aiden.
Oh, okay, very good.
Right on. You want to count in or me? I'm terrible at counting
I
in.
can count it.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I grew up my father's daughter. He said don't take nothing from no one. You'll never see me cry. Till now I've had no reason why I'm alone. 'Cause my baby, he's gone. Ain't no place feels like home to me. Aiden, please don't make me move on. I've never loved anyone. Oh, can't you see you are tearing me apart? Don't you know you are breaking see you are tearing me apart? Don't you know you are breaking my heart? Oh, can't you see you are tearing me apart? Don't you know you are breaking my heart?
Oh, very good. Jade Jackson from her latest CD, Gilded, entitled Aiden. She's appearing tonight over at Sam's Burger Joint with, you got a whole band here, or is it?
Yeah, whole band.
Yeah?
We'd fit them in here if we could.
You're on a nice little Texas tour, I guess. Where'd you all started? Looks like you're on your way back there. You're going to do here. You got some Austin, Houston, Dallas. I was looking at the
Yeah.
circle, right? So you're
Yeah, it's
headed.
a little bit of a circle, and then we shoot over to Colorado and make our way back home.
You know, I thought it was really interesting. We were chatting earlier about your hometown there and the size of it, right? So I'm reading through the liner notes, which is always fun to do. You know, if you buy an MP3, you don't get that mess. But the fact that you thanked all your neighbors for not calling the cops, right? It was like we practicing, I guess, in a garage or something like that, right?
Yeah, we still are. We're practicing in my neighbor's garage. Nice guy, just a single dude, and he gave us his garage. And you know, the only consequence is he'll usually come down and open the garage and start dancing and drinking beer, and we're like trying to practice,
Well,
But
I thought it was pretty charming. You're thanking all the residents for not calling the police.
oh,
Right?
amen.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been writing. We were talking a little bit earlier. They said you wrote like 300 songs by the time you got out of high school or something.
I had my first kind of like big festival gig my senior year of high school, and the local radio station was like, let's talk about something you haven't been interviewed about yet, like
Right.
how many songs like have you written. So I
Right.
counted them my senior year, and I was up to 375, and I've been writing a lot since then, so I don't even know how many I have now.
So then the songs on your record, Gilded, right?
Yes.
There's 11 songs on here. Mm-hmm. So is there like a really old song on here? Or is there like, are these all
Troubled
new songs?
End, it's a co-write between my producer, Mike Ness, and I, but I actually wrote my half of it when I was 15. I was in a rockabilly band, and it used to be called Trouble's End. It was positive, and then he got a hold of it and gave me some heavy suggestions, and we changed it into what it is now, which I like a lot more. But the roots of it was written when I was a kid.
So how many more of those songs do you think you'll revisit? I mean, you're a young person. You can be writing songs for a long time.
Hell yeah, it's all I know how to do. For our album that's coming out, we're doing about a 50-50 mix of songs from Gilded and songs from our new album at these shows we're doing on this tour.
Right.
And the new album has a couple songs I wrote, in my mid-teens, but the rest of them are new. Yeah.
Pretty interesting. So you get to go back and revisit them. So they're just sort of lingering around, right?
Not really revisit. It's just there's some ones that you can't really forget about, even though you want to, because you wrote them at a younger time. And those are the ones that usually find their way on the record.
Right, and you mentioned Mike Ness. Apparently there's a Mike Ness connection here, right? So your mom and somebody, right? So is he living in a little? I'm not going to throw it out there, but I guess does he live there, or there's a connection with your mom and someone else, or?
So his wife Christine went to high school with my mom, and they both, kind of stayed in touch. We're both from the same hometown, and I started, performing soon after I started writing when I was 13. So I was in, everywhere you could play in my hometown, I was there. My dad would drive me. I'd play coffee shops, alleyways, whatever. So I think because of that, Christine, recognized my ambition and push, and she introduced me to Mike. And then the story now, the addition to the story is that Christine and my mom had kids around the same time. And I don't know how to say that. Well, my guitar player here is Christine's son, Julian, because when my former guitar player bailed, I was like, I knew Julian played guitar.
You
and
want
I
to say
was-
his name so we can all hate him right now?
No. I mean, he you know, the van life is rough, and he had two kids. He had two kids. He had to leave on short notice. I thought he'd be my guitar player forever, but once that door closed, pretty soon after, I saw the glimmering light of possibly having Julian in the band. I knew he had like a good job and all that stuff. I didn't want to like suck him into the dark side of like being a touring musician, but he was so good, I couldn't stop thinking about him, and I kind of got him to do it. So this is his first tour with us.
Are you having a good time, Julian?
Yeah, I'm having a great time. I mean, considering we spent 14 hours in the car driving from Phoenix to
We're here today.
a couple of days ago.
Day before yesterday. Yeah, we did about a 12-hour drive to Arizona to Phoenix or whatever, and then from Phoenix to San Antonio was about 14 hours within the 3 first days of tour, so we're breaking them in.
It's there's so much to see on that drive from Phoenix, right?
Yeah, not really.
Such a lot of scenic areas over there, yeah.
Oh no, it was rough, but you know, that's how it is.
Who drives the van?
So my bass player Jake Vukovic is pretty much the main driver. He just likes it, so I just let him go.
Just let him go with that. Again,
Yeah.
Jade Jackson and her band tonight over at Sam's Burger Joint, along with her new guitar player Julian Ness. So you listed some of your influences, which I thought was interesting. Most of them are the fact that you threw George Jones in the mix.
George Jones, yeah. I
Yeah,
think,
that was kind of the one that sort of was a little. I was like, huh, really? You know, I can see you with California, Buck Owens, Towns. I mean, people throw that. But then George Jones, I was like,
Well, dude, he's the best songwriter. I
see.
mean, like Where Grass, Don't Grow, and Been a Good Year for the Roses. Like those songs, like I listened to when I was a kid, and it painted imagery that children can relate to. And then when you grow up and you start having those same like feelings of depression or heartache or whatever, you can relate to it as a teen. You can relate to it like all stages of life. And I connected with it when I was young, and still do now. I think he's such a good songwriter.
that's such a great answer. There you go.
Oh, thanks.
You guys gonna play another song? What are we gonna do here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do a song off our new album. And this one's called Bottle It Up.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What you're after, baby, moves through chapters. No way to know what's on the next page. Bottle it up the way we feel right now. Whenever I get lonely, gonna drink a little down. Bottle it up the way you're holding me. If ever I get lonely, gonna pour myself a drink. All your patience winds down that road to frustration, and all we've dreamt of will crash and burn should it turn into love. Bottle it up the way we feel right now. Whenever I get lonely, gonna drink a little down. Bottle it up the way you're holding me. If ever I get lonely, gonna pour myself a drink. I won't need a man's hands to open the jar where I've captured and kept safe the things that I'm willing to share with you, babe. Bottle it up the way we feel right now. Whenever I get lonely, gonna drink a little down. Bottle it up the way you're holding me. If ever I get lonely, gonna pour myself a drink. Bottle it up the way we feel right now. Whenever I get lonely, gonna drink a little down. Bottle it up the way you're holding me. If ever I get lonely, gonna pour myself a drink. If ever lonely, gonna pour myself a drink. If ever I get lonely, gonna pour myself a drink.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
Jade Jackson here in the studios, appearing tonight over at Sam's Burger Joint. I'm guessing, like always, it starts at 8 or 9 o'clock, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. So I have to ask you, I was going through the lyrics on your record, right? The last record. There's not really any zippity-doo-dah in there, is there?
Not very much, no.
Right. Is it a place that you write from for that, or is that...
Songwriting's definitely my therapy. You know, it's where I go when I have that like pit in the stomach feeling like you want to just, you know, disappear. That's usually when I find myself writing. I have very few positive lyrical content. But I don't know. Everyone's like, God, your songs are so sad and deep, but like you're so like positive and like uppity. Like it doesn't make sense. It's like, well, it's because I get it out in my songwriting.
Right.
You know, I don't carry it around with me.
Yeah, no. I was going through the lyrics of the title track, "Gilded," right, and I'm like, wow, this is some sad things here for a young person. And then I'm rolling through the rest of them, like, wow, she's it sounds autobiographical. I don't know if it all is, and I don't know if you're doing any writing in sort of a third person or not, but you go through the record and it feels like every song is you. I guess if that's true, or it may not be true. People always assume it's about you. You know, when someone writes a song, you always think, oh, she hates this or something like that. It may not always be true, but these really feel like it's really personal to you. Yeah.
I write more so now than when I was younger, honestly, and about autobiographical things. On this last record, Gilded, there was a bit more of me putting myself in other people's shoes. I've always felt pretty empathetic, and like I like to pretend like I'm that lady on the bus that's crying that I can see and don't understand, and I like to write her story and put it on paper. The new album differentiates from the first in that there are more vulnerable, honest, lyrics about things I've gone through, and so it was a lot more difficult for me to record than Gilded.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when's the new record coming out? What do you think? What's your expected time frame on that?
We're not exactly sure, but sometime soon. Sometime soon. Yeah.
Oh well, that's got to be pretty exciting. What did you learn? Gilded's your first record, right? I'm guessing, right? I couldn't find anything else out there. So then, what did you go from Gilded? You went to, all right, this little process, because everybody makes their first record. Not everybody. I mean, I have never made a first record, right? I've never even gotten a hole in one. But you make your first record, then you roll on to the second project, and those are usually, you've got your whole life to make your first record. And then you go to the second one, and now you're trying to learn. What was your process you learned or took from the first one to the second one, or?
Yeah, so it's funny. My dad always says that. He always says like the band's first album is like they had their whole life to make it, and the second one is usually judged because it's like, now what can you come up with? But I just write so frequently and so often that like I don't think I will ever run out of material. I wish I could put out 3 albums right now, but that's not the way the industry works, unfortunately. So as far as writing, I didn't really purposely like change anything or write in a different way. I guess the biggest thing is I've played with a band longer on the second album. Like the first album, I just got my guys together. Like I used to play solo acoustic for 10 years, and so I didn't really have a sense of rhythm. This next album, I feel like I understand rhythm a little bit more, and so there's a little bit more, rhythmic kind of movement stuff on the second album.
Did you record it in the same place, or what'd you do?
No, we didn't. We recorded the drums at Studio 606, which is the Foo Fighters' little studio, and they have a great sound for drums, so the drums sound really epic. And then we recorded the rest at a studio kind of near Silver Lake, So, yeah, we kind of hopped around a little bit and got it all recorded.
Very nice. Jade Jackson, again, appearing tonight over at Sam's Burger Joint with a full band. Jade, it's been a pleasure talking to you this afternoon. We're looking forward to seeing this next CD come
thank you so much.
Thanks
for playing our music.
Yeah, we're going to play a tune off the Gilded CD. Which one are we going to play again?
Let's play Finish Line, and I might add that the music video for that song was shot in Santa Margarita, California, and it is autobiographical.
Oh, this one is autobiographical.
The music video, for sure.
Excellent. Jade Jackson, Julian Ness, it was a pleasure to meet you as well, and see you guys soon.
All right, see ya. Thank you.